She slammed the phone down so hard the screen cracked, but she didn't even flinch. "Who is she?" Lily asked, her voice shaking, not from fear, but from rage she had been holding in for weeks. On the other end, there was silence. "Answer me, Marcus," she said again, quieter this time, "because I just watched you walk out of a jewelry store with a ring, and it wasn't for me." Another pause, longer this time. Then finally, his voice came through. "Calm, too calm. You shouldn't have followed me." That was a moment something inside Lily snapped. Not broke, snapped, because this wasn't confusion anymore. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It was real. 2 years, 2 full years of late-night calls, shared dreams, promises whispered in the dark. He had talked about forever like it was already written. He had held her hand and said, "When I marry you," and now this. "I didn't follow you," she said, her word sharp. "I trusted you. That's why I knew something was off." He exhaled slowly. "Lily, this isn't what you think." "Then what is it?" She cut in, her voice rising. "Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're planning a wedding, and I'm not the bride." Silence again, and that silence told her everything. She laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "Wow, you really thought you could hide this from me." "It's complicated," he muttered. "No," she said instantly. "It's not complicated. You're just a liar." Her chest felt tight, but she forced herself to stay steady. She wasn't going to cry. Not now. Not when she was this close to the truth. "When were you going to tell me?" she asked. "After the wedding? Or were you just going to disappear one day and pretend I meant nothing?" "You don't understand," Marcus said, his voice finally cracking just a little. This isn't how I wanted it to happen." Lily shook her head, even though he couldn't see her. "Oh, I understand perfectly. You just didn't expect to get caught." She paced across her apartment, gripping the phone so tightly her fingers hurt. Images flashed through her mind. His smile, his voice, the way he used to look at her like she was the only person in the world. Was all of that fake? "Who is she?" she asked again, quieter this time. Marcus hesitated. "Her name is Ava." The name hit her harder than she expected. Real, specific, not some vague excuse. "How long?" Lily whispered. "A while." Her stomach dropped. "A while," she repeated, her voice trembling now despite her efforts. "Define a while, Marcus, because we've been together for 2 years." "I know." "Then how long?" she demanded. Another pause. "A year." Lily stopped moving. A year. Half their relationship. Half of everything she thought was real. She swallowed hard, her vision blurring slightly. "So while you were telling me you loved me, you were building another life with someone else." "It's not like that." "Then explain it to me," she snapped. "Because right now, it looks exactly like that." He didn't answer. And that silence, it was louder than anything he could have said. Lily closed her eyes, trying to steady her breathing. She could feel it now, the truth settling in, heavy and undeniable. She had been living in a lie. "I gave you everything," she said softly. "And you split yourself in half like I wouldn't notice." "Lily." "No," she cut him off. "Don't say my name like you still get to." There was a long pause. Then she asked a question that had been burning in her chest since the moment she saw him walk out of that store. "Does she know about me?" Marcus didn't respond immediately, and that hesitation, that tiny, devastating pause, told her everything she needed to know. She opened her eyes slowly, her expression hardening. Because in that moment, Lily realized something that changed everything. She wasn't the only one being lied to. And suddenly, this wasn't just heartbreak anymore. It was something much bigger. And she wasn't going to walk away quietly. Lily didn't hang up. She just stood there, breathing slowly, letting the silence stretch until Marcus couldn't take it anymore. "She doesn't know," he admitted, his voice lower now. "Of course she doesn't." Lily let out a quiet laugh, but there was no humor in it. "So you're lying to both of us." "It's not that simple." "It is that simple," she snapped. "You're in love with 2 women, and you decided the best solution was to marry one while secretly keeping the other." "I wasn't planning to keep you both," he said quickly. "I was going to end things." "When?" She cut in sharply. After the wedding? After the honeymoon? After you got bored of pretending to be a good husband? He didn't answer. Again. And every second of silence felt like another piece of truth falling into place. Lily pressed her lips together, forcing herself to think clearly. This wasn't just about heartbreak anymore. This was deception. Careful, calculated deception. And she was done being the one left in the dark. Where is she? Lily asked suddenly. What? Ava, she said. Where is she right now? Why does that matter? Because, Lily replied slowly, I think she deserves to know who she's marrying. Marcus's tone changed instantly. No, absolutely not. Oh, now you care. Lily shot back. Now honesty matters. You don't understand what you'd be doing, he said, his voice tightening. Lily's eyes narrowed. No, I understand perfectly. I'd be telling the truth. Something you seem incapable of doing. This will ruin everything, Marcus warned. Good, she said coldly. It should. There was a sharp inhale on the other end. Lily, don't do this. Please. That word, please, almost made her pause. Almost. But then she remembered the late nights, the promises, the future he had painted so clearly, so convincingly, while building a second one behind her back. No, she said quietly. You don't get to ask me for anything anymore. Lily, send me the details, she interrupted. The wedding, the venue, everything. I'm not giving you that. Then I'll find it myself, she said calmly. And trust me, I will. He went silent again, but this time it wasn't hesitation. It was fear. And for the first time since it started, Lily felt something shift. Control. You don't mean that, Marcus said finally, his voice strained. I do, she replied, because if I don't do this, you're just going to keep lying. And I refuse to let that happen. You're being dramatic. She laughed again, but this time it was sharper. Dramatic? You're secretly engaged to another woman while telling me you love me, and I'm the dramatic one. He didn't respond. Exactly, she muttered. There was a long pause before Marcus spoke again. Quieter now. You'll regret this. Lily's expression hardened completely. No, she said. The only thing I regret is not seeing who you really were sooner. She ended the call before he could say anything else. The apartment felt too quiet, too still. For a moment, the weight of everything hit her all at once. The betrayal, the lies, the realization that the man she trusted most had been living a double life. Her hands trembled slightly. But then, she steadied them, because she wasn't going to fall apart. Not yet. Not when she had something to do. She grabbed her laptop and sat down, her mind already racing. Marcus had underestimated her. He thought she would cry, break down, maybe confront him in person and walk away. But Lily wasn't going to give him that. She was going to expose the truth. And she was going to do it at the exact moment it would hurt the most. Her fingers moved quickly across the keyboard, searching, connecting dots, following small clues Marcus had carelessly left behind over the past year. It didn't take long. A name, a venue, a date. Her eyes locked onto the screen. 2 weeks. He was getting married in 2 weeks. Lily leaned back slowly, staring at the information in front of her. 2 weeks to decide everything. 2 weeks to choose how this ends. A slow, controlled smile formed on her face. Because now, she knew exactly what she was going to do. And Marcus had no idea what was coming. She showed up before anyone expected her. The church doors were still closed, guests gathering outside, laughter and small talk filling the air. Lily stood across the street, watching. Her heart was beating fast, but her face was calm. 2 weeks of planning. 2 weeks of thinking, doubting, almost backing out. But every time she remembered Marcus's voice, the lies, the way he said please, like he still deserved anything from her, she stayed committed. She crossed the street. Each step felt heavier than the last, but she didn't stop. Not when she reached the doors. Not when she walked inside. The venue was beautiful. White flowers, soft lighting, everything perfect. Exactly the kind of wedding she had imagined for herself. With him. Her chest tightened, but she pushed it down. Not today. She spotted Ava near the front, surrounded by bridesmaids, laughing, smiling, completely unaware. For a moment, Lily hesitated, because Ava looked happy, genuinely happy, and for a split second, Lily wondered if she should just leave, walk away, let the lie continue. But then she remembered. A whole year of lies. And suddenly, she wasn't hesitating anymore. She walked forward. One of the bridesmaids noticed her first. "Hi, can I help you?" "I'm here to see Ava," Lily said, her voice steady. Ava turned at the sound of her name, her smile soft and welcoming. "Hi, do I know you?" Lily met her eyes, and for the first time, she felt something shift again. Not anger, not rage, just clarity. "No," Lily said quietly, "but you should." Ava frowned slightly, confused. "I'm sorry." Lily took a small step closer. "How long have you been with Marcus?" The name alone changed everything. Ava's expression flickered. "Excuse me." "Just answer me," Lily said, her tone calm but firm. 2 years, Ava replied slowly. "Why?" Lily let out a soft breath. Of course it was the same timeline. "Did he ever mention me?" Lily asked. Ava shook her head, now clearly uncomfortable. "I think you should leave." "I've been with him for 2 years, too," Lily said. Silence. Complete silence. The room shifted instantly. Conversation stopped. Eyes turned. Ava blinked, like she hadn't heard correctly. "What?" Lily didn't look away. "I didn't know about you. Until recently." Ava's face went pale. "That's not possible," she said, shaking her head. "Marcus wouldn't." "He would," Lily cut in softly. "And he did." Ava looked around, like she needed someone to tell her this wasn't real. But no one spoke, because something about Lily's voice, the certainty in it, made it impossible to ignore. "Do you have proof?" Ava asked, her voice barely holding together. Lily nodded. Slowly, she pulled out her phone. "This is from last week," she said, turning the screen toward her. "Dinner. The same night he told you he was working late." Ava stared at the image. Then another. Messages. Photos. Dates. Each one hitting harder than the last. "No," Ava whispered, her hand covering her mouth. "No, this can't." "It's real," Lily said quietly. "I wish it wasn't." Ava's breathing became uneven, her eyes filling with tears. "Why are you telling me this now?" Lily paused. "Because that question mattered. I could have walked away," she said. "Pretended none of this happened. Let you marry him and figure it out later." Ava's shoulders shook. "But you deserve the truth," Lily continued, "before it's too late." The room was completely silent now. Ava looked down at the phone again, then back at Lily, and in that moment, everything broke. The wedding never happened. Voices were raised, questions thrown. Marcus was dragged into a situation he could no longer control. And Lily, she didn't stay to watch. She had said what she needed to say. She walked out of that church the same way she walked in. Calm, steady, free. Weeks later, Lily sat alone in a quiet cafe, staring at her coffee. It had been chaos after that day. Messages, calls, explanations she didn't care to hear. Marcus tried to reach her, more than once. She never answered, because there was nothing left to say. She had closure, and for the first time in a long time, she felt like herself again. Not broken, not betrayed, just done. She took a sip of her coffee, letting the silence settle around her, and this time, it felt peaceful.
If you enjoyed this story and want to see more twists, drama, and jaw-dropping moments, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next.